Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Squared Circle Speak, your home for any and everything professional wrestling. I am Ryan. With me, as always, is my co host, Nathan. And today, it's our typical Monday episode here. We are going to be talking the week that was in WWE. We are on the road to King and Queen of the Ring. I just want to say I hate that name.
That is a horrible name.
Couldn't they have just called it Crown Jewel?
I
And
mean, it makes sense.
like King and Queen of the Ring is so hard to say. Just call it Crown Jewel, and then you could have had the King and Queen of the Ring matches.
Or
Anyway,
call it the Royal Crowns or call it the I don't know,
yeah,
something.
yeah. I just hate it. But anyway, we're on the road to that. We had Raw, NXT, and SmackDown this week, like always. And we had some qualifying. We had some second round matches. We're gonna be talking about that, and then later in the week, we're gonna be having our King and Queen of the Ring predictions. And so let's get into this WWE show week, Nathan, because I don't know. What'd you think? What'd you think of Raw?
I think Raw was pretty good. It's just had some controversial moments uh that had the internet abuzz.
Yes. So we'll start off here. The first seg was a segment between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, so it looks like we are going to be heading to them wrestling at some point. I don't think it was made official for King and Queen of the Ring. So,
Yeah,
um,
that was kind of interesting. So I guess King and Queen of the Ring's only going to have because this are the semifinals. They're going to be on Raw and SmackDown too, right?
I, I would appear so.
I guess they really haven't announced it.
Yeah, they haven't really said what all's happening at this pay-per-view either. I mean, it's
I was
like,
gonna say because if the semifinals are on Raw and SmackDown, that means we're only gonna get the two final matches for the King and Queen of the Ring, the WWE Championship match, the Women's World Championship match, and
right now there are five matches announced: the King of the Ring tournament final, Queen of the Ring tournament final, Women's World Championship, WWE Championship, and a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship.
oh, I didn't know about the okay, yeah, the Intercontinental.
So it
Okay,
looks like, yeah, next week on Raw and SmackDown will be the finals of or the finals of the Raw side and SmackDown side.
well, it's good to see Triple H is converting into the Vince McMahon ways, and there's no fucking tag team title matches on the pay per view. That kind of
Two pay-per-views in a
blows.
row,
We get
man.
we get brand new tag team titles, and they already get fucking put by the wayside.
Two pay-per-views in a row without tag team title matches.
That's bullshit. They
Uh,
both they both better be on the line at Clash at the Castle.
is that the next one, Clash of the Castle?
Yep.
Then it goes SummerSlam, then Bash at Berlin, right?
No, no. Then it goes
Bash at
Money.
Berlin, then SummerSlam.
I thought it was Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Money in Bank's in there sometime too.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
pay-per-views.
I think it's after Clash of the Castle. But we don't
But
have to go through the whole rundown overall. Let's just hit the
yeah.
highlights here.
Io Sky defeated Shayna Baszler in the second round of the Queen of the Ring tournament.
How'd you feel about that?
Uh, the right call. My money is on Io Sky to win this whole tournament. Uh,
I don't know about that, but
but I mean, I love Shayna Baszler. But A, she's getting up there in age. B, I think it's a little too late to push her. Vince McMahon kind of killed all of her momentum, and so it was kind of
yeah,
like,
but it could easily be revived.
yeah. But
I
Io
mean,
Sky,
they really could have done something with Shayna Baszler with that her doing that blood sport thing.
yeah, they really didn't even talk about it. It kind of sucked.
Yeah, because they could have really pushed her as a
She could have been come back as like a real said I'm a real push the real fighter thing again.
mhm.
Made her a dominant badass because she's like, look, I left to destroy this other chick, over there, blah blah blah. But yeah, Io Sky needs to come up again. She lost the women's title, so it feels like she needs her moment to get back up. But I didn't know this match could have been the Raw final for me, and I would have been okay with it. But it happened in the semifinal, so.
All right.
Gunther defeated Kofi Kingston. And also in the second round match, what do you think of that? Obviously, the right call in my opinion too.
Oh yeah, obviously. It was a decent match. It could have been a little longer, I think. This match wasn't as long as I was expecting it to be.
No, yeah, that match it could have went a lot better, but it was a pretty good match for what it was, and obviously the right man won with Gunther winning there because again, I think he's winning as well. Lyra Valkyria defeated Zoe Stark, so it's going to be Lyra versus Io Sky next week in the Raw side of the finals. Pushing Valkyria right out of the gate here. She's getting a hell of a
Yeah,
push.
yeah. A lot of people thought, a lot of people thought Elia was going to get the same push, which is why so controversial towards the end here.
Yeah. Um. Elsewhere, we had that triple threat. So Sami Zayn defeated Otis with Chad, and then so that triple threat is going to be Sami Zayn, uh, Chad Gable, and a Bronson Reed.
Who do you
At
think? Well, I guess we'll talk
we'll
about
get
that
into
later.
that during our predictions later in the week. Um. Yeah, Liv Morgan interrupted a Becky Lynch match. Becky Lynch took on Dakota Kai, which I was happy to see Dakota Kai get a good match here and give some pretty good time. But then Liv Morgan interrupted it and drove Becky into the steel ring post. So I don't know if Liv's a heel or she's just a tweener or what, but it will be Liv and Becky at King and Queen of the Ring as well.
Right. I think Liv's going heel. I just, you know, there's only so many kinds of characters. There's only so many spots. I feel like eventually Alexa Bliss is going to come back, and she's probably going to be with the Wyatt thing, probably. And she's probably going to have the dark, spooky, manipulative character. But I feel like Liv is kind of this, not really the dark thing and spooky, but she's trying to be like the manipulative character, and her music's kind of like that too. It's kind of the darkish look. I just feel like they're going to be really close to the same character.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They've always been very similar in their characters.
Yeah,
Honestly, I mean, they look similar too. Like they got the same. They're both short, blonde. You know,
they can't help that, Ryan.
whatever could dye their hair. Um,
Oh,
but I don't know. Well, Alexa coming back. I I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. If she's just gonna be doing the spooky character again, like I don't know if I really want that.
she wasn't doing too good when she was back last time around.
Yeah, that's what I
So I
mean.
mean, maybe she needs that spooky character because
Yeah,
when she wasn't, she was kind of just lost in the shuffle.
true. I mean, we'll see. They've did this Uncle Howdy stuff. They've had another QR code, and apparently there was like a date on there too. Um,
Yeah. A lot of people, there's been multiple dates, and it's always like multiple numbers, and it's all led to the Saudi show, which is
yeah,
a weird place.
yeah,
If
it
they
was.
debut there, that is a weird place to debut.
Yeah, yeah. Very weird because that crowd's not gonna react to it. I don't. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that and the people that are wrestling on this card, like, who are they
Yeah, I don't.
targeting? Are they targeting anybody? Or like, I feel like it's going to be a way. Well, we'll talk about this in our predictions, but it just is kind of weird.
Yeah. Also, some big. They had a fatal four way tag team match to determine the number one contenders for the tag team title. Since you talked about that, the Judgment Day one.
Yeah, um,
Not
which is fine, I guess. But yeah, they get a shot, but not at the pay per view.
no. I feel like you had the Newcastle Republican there. You had Authors of Pain, and you had the Creed brothers. I would have rather one of those other teams win. I'm kind of over this whole Judgment Day thing. I kind of want them to break up already.
No,
It's just it's I don't like Finn, and I know he's getting older, but I don't like Finn Balor getting stuck in tag team matches all the time now. I would like to
right.
see him turn on Damien and have just one little push here towards the end here. I don't know. I'm just kind of over the Judgment Day getting tag
It
title
really
matches.
honestly could be leading to that too. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. And then in your main event, as you mentioned, a little controversy in this one. It was Jay Uso and Ilya Dragunov. Uh, and Jay Uso beat him, and didn't just beat him; he beat him straight up clean.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that's why everybody was pissed off. But thing is, Jey Uso is the number one pick by Raw,
Yep. Yep.
so he has to win big matches.
And he's
I
super
mean,
over. Like he's
yeah, they got to justify him being pick number one. So, I mean,
yeah, I
you know,
completely understand it, like why he won. It's not like it's
well, they should have
it,
just never booked it.
yeah, that's
That he shouldn't have been in this tournament.
true.
Either him or Ilya, one of the two should have never been in this tournament.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have this problem. Uh, but yeah, so Jey Uso and Gunther should be an interesting match. Like we said, we don't know if it's happening on Raw next week or if it's going to be
Move to the paper.
maybe moved to the pay-per-view. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, Raw was okay. You know, 8 matches, not terrible.
No,
All
it's good.
decent.
Good number.
All of them were pretty decent.
Yeah.
NXT, we're not going to get too much into it, but they did have some qualifying matches for the Women's North American Championship ladder match. Sol Ruka defeated Izzy Dame. Uh,
Expected.
Expected, yes, of course.
I think Izzy Dame's going to get lost in the shuffle without Kiana James.
Yeah, Kiana was on Raw in a backstage segment, and is she just gonna be Adam Pierce's assistant?
That's a shitty way to get
Like
drafted to Raw.
that's what felt like the implication was, and I feel like that's pretty shitty if she got called up just to do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully they have something bigger planned for her. Other than and then other women's match, Lash Legend defeated Ivy Nile to qualify for the NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match. Both expected. I mean, Ivy Nile's on the main roster, and so I didn't expect her really to win this match. Uh, but good win for Lash. She don't wrestle very often, so it was good to see her get a win.
Yeah, she's been down there a long time, ever since this 2.0 started. Um,
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see with the with NXT how long they wait for some of these people to get called up. Is it only gonna be draft time, or are we gonna get people called up in the middle of the WWE season? I guess what we can call it. Or I mean, it's gonna be interesting because like some of these people have been down there a long time, and it's going to get to the point where if they don't get called up, we could have like an Adam Cole situation where they just, if they're not going to get called up, they're going to go somewhere else.
yeah, it's very. I mean, and the women's roster is so big.
Yeah,
Eventually,
got about 20 women on every show on
yeah,
Raw,
and so
SmackDown.
and the problem is you can't call up a bunch of women or a bunch of people because their rosters are already so full on Raw and SmackDown. So unless people start retiring or leave, I mean, they might be stuck in NXT for a while.
Yeah, and you can't really do that because it's supposed to be. I mean, I know they're trying to make it a third brand, but
Yeah, it's
and
supposed
it
to be
is a third.
developmental. You
But
eventually
it
the
is.
whole goal is to get to Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah,
So
so I don't know, like Noam Dar, people like that, you know. So this whole group, except for Jakara Jackson,
did she wrestle? I haven't seen her wrestle in a year.
she wrestled a couple times. She wrestled a couple weeks ago.
Did she?
Yeah,
I keep like she don't wrestle very often at all.
no, but other than her, all the rest of them have been there since for
Yeah,
at
Laura
least 5.
Mensa was in NXT UK, so
Yeah, so they could all totally those three could totally get called up at any
yeah.
time.
Speaking of Laura Mensa, he wrestled my new favorite wrestler, Javon Evans, on this show. Uh, this match was awesome. I enjoyed this match
Yeah, it
a
was
lot.
pretty good.
Javon Evans and Laura Mensa tore the house down, and Javon Evans gets the win, and they are really pushing this kid to the moon, man. He has come in and is having great matches every week, and they're really pushing him. I don't
Yeah,
know where it's going to lead, but I really like him a lot. I think he's got a bright future because he is insane in the ring. uh, other big news that happened was the Heritage Cup changed hands on this show. Um,
yeah.
people, your favorite wrestler, Tony D'Angelo, took the Heritage Cup from Charlie Dempsey.
Yeah, this thing's getting passed around all over the place now.
Yeah, I can't believe I honestly, I can't believe they ever brought it over from NXT UK. I just didn't realize I didn't think they would do that. And yeah, B, it's it's just yeah, everything it changes hands like once a month, it feels like.
I really thought when Shawn Michaels became the general manager or whatever of NXT, I really thought he was going to bring back the European title and just have it with the same rules as the Heritage Cup. But then that way
Yeah.
they have a belt instead of lugging around a goddamn trophy.
The trophy's ridiculous, dude. I can't believe they lug that thing around every week.
I know.
Like
I just that's why I was just I'm like I really thought that's what I thought was going to happen because he was the second ever European champion, so it kind
mhm.
of makes sense.
Yep.
And so I thought he would bring that back, but he didn't. So I'm like, well, I guess we got a trophy. I mean, it's different, and I
It
do like
is.
the match. I like that they do that. It's pretty cool.
It's different.
And
It, it's different. I don't know, it's weird because you got what, 5 minute rounds, 3 minute rounds. So
3 minute rounds.
yeah, so it's very rushed. It's like speed.
It's like speed. It's like six rounds of speed.
Yeah, so it's weird because
That
you're
sounds like
doing
a
this and then you have speed where it ends in 3 minutes, and it's kind of very weird. But I enjoy it. It's different, and I always enjoy at least doing something a little different on their shows. So I don't know where they go from here with D'Angelo as champion now. I don't really fit his style or his gimmick, but I guess we'll see. But Nixie was not bad. He had 3 women's matches on the show. So all pretty good. And Javon Evans and Ora Mensah tore the house down. So pretty good show
right.
this week. Over the SmackDown, we had more King and Queen of the Ring qualifier matches. Bianca Belair defeated Tiffany Stratton. There was some stuff going on online. You probably didn't see any of it.
Wait, did you talk about Gallus?
Oh yeah, at the end of the show, Gallus returned. Forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah, on NXT. Yeah,
just
I
randomly.
mean, it really pissed me off because
It
not
pissed
that
a lot of people off.
not that Gallus came back because I like Gallus. It's just I want them on the main roster.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, "What else are they gonna do down there? Like, why are they still there?
Yeah,
Like, you could bring them up on leave Wolfgang behind, but you could bring them up and they could be. I mean, they could be pretty. I mean, they're pretty good. I don't know. They can talk. They can move. They can wrestle. I don't know. They're big.
yeah.
I don't know why they're waiting.
I don't know what they're waiting on either. And I really thought ever since NXT UK, I thought Joe Coffey was going to be like the next big thing.
Yeah,
So I don't know what they're waiting on with those guys. Them and I think that honestly, except for that the new young high flyer that's with them, I think that Chase U needs to be called up too.
you don't like Riley Osborne?
He's okay, but he's
Yeah,
green. I mean, he hasn't been there long enough.
yeah.
But the other three, I think are ready,
Mhm.
and I think they should be called up because you need more tag teams. You could send one of them to Raw, one of them to SmackDown, and give you another team on each show.
Yep.
So that's why, if I was in charge, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm not. So I just watch and get pissed off. All
I
right, so on SmackDown, yeah, we had a couple more qualifying matches. Go ahead.
yeah. There was a little controversy. You probably didn't see this about Bianca Belair going into this show. And Tiffany
Okay.
Stratton too. Uh, so Belair is married to Montez Ford,
Right.
and Montez Ford's profile on Instagram has always been father of two.
Okay.
And during the week, he changed that profile to father of three,
Oh.
and it got everyone questioning, what the fuck? He quickly changed it back, and so I don't know what happened. And then there were rumors that Belair was pregnant, but obviously not because she wrestled. So I don't know. I don't know what Montez was doing, but now he's just trolling, and he put on there like father of seven. So I don't know if he was just trolling or what was going on, but it had everyone on the internet freaking out for a
Well,
moment.
that's the internet for you.
Yeah. And Tiffany Stratton got in some hot water because she put a video out on TikTok, and it was her slapping Jade Cargill, and it had like the words black woman or something in it, and everyone called her racist.
Oh shit.
Yeah, stupid. You know, it was a TikTok sound. Like she didn't record it. It wasn't her voice. Like anyway, they said
Well, some people just need to stay off TikTok.
anyway, Belair and Stratton had a really good match. Belair got the win. I don't know. I don't know how
Yeah,
I feel about that.
it was very John Cena-esque.
Yes.
I don't think it's the. I'm not gonna lie, Ryan. These matches went the exact opposite of what I said that they
Oh,
were gonna.
I 100% thought it was going to be Stratton and Cargill next week.
Yep.
I 100% thought that's the way they're going. And when Belair won, I was like, okay. Are we going to do Belair and Jade on an episode of SmackDown? But no, because Nia Jax beat Jade Cargill later in the night.
And by disqualification,
Yes, but Bianca Belair and Nia Jax. So it's got to be Belair. Like, I mean, I guess
unless they go Lyra.
Lyra versus Nia. That would be a shitty match.
I think it's gonna be Belair. I think it's gonna be Belair and Io Sky, which is
They've done that match so many times.
I know.
So that's why I don't know if they're going to do that now. They might do Lyra and Belair.
Yeah, but if they do Lyra and Belair, and if Belair beats her too after she just beat Stratton,
Yeah,
I mean, talk about John Cena.
yeah.
Uh, that would be a bad idea for me. If I'd be that'd be a bad move. I think
Mm-hmm.
it needs to be. I think it needs to be Io Sky and Belair. But if it is, it's kind of a bummer because they both already been world champions. So them, either one of them winning this tournament, I mean, it's like, do they really need it?
Yeah.
Because especially Io was just champion, so if she wins it, it's like okay. So
And Belair's currently a champion.
well, yeah, but she's also one of the longest women's champions.
Yeah. So
So
I don't,
it's like neither one of them really need it. I honestly, I hope Nia wins, and I hope it's Lyra or Io. Io can be a tweener, and you have Nia win the fucking thing.
you know what? I actually would not be upset if Nia wins because it would just be her character, and she'd be the dominant heel.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be different than having Belair. Belair got injured, like her knee is hurting, so that might come into effect in the match with Nia, and she'll lose, but she won't. She'll be hurt, so it won't look too bad on her.
right.
So, I don't know. This whole show, all four matches went the complete opposite way I thought they were gonna go.
Yeah,
Because Tonga, we had Tonga and LA Knight, and Tama Tonga won. Just threw me off completely.
yeah, yeah.
Did not expect that. 100% thought this was going to be LA Knight and Gunther in the finals, and now it's not. So I had no idea where we're going here on SmackDown, man. It threw me for a loop with these tournament matches. And then we had Randy Orton beat Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
What are they doing on SmackDown? Because I thought it was going to be LA Knight and Hayes, and it was going to be Gunther and Jay. Well, I thought it was going to be Gunther and Ilya, but and I thought it was going to be Gunther versus LA Knight. But now I don't know where they're going. Is it going to be Orton and Gunther?
It's looking that way.
Yeah, I mean that's two big names, but because they're not going to have the bloodline versus like they're not going to do Gunther versus Tama Tonga.
No.
But anyway, yeah, SmackDown they threw me for a loop with all these matches, man. They just all went the complete opposite direction. I thought they were all going to go. It makes it interesting. Makes it
Yeah,
very
but
interesting.
it's
But
interesting, but at the same, well, yeah, yeah, it's very weird. There's also like a tag team match for the number one contenders, I guess.
it was DIY versus Legato. I don't know if it was for what it was for, but yeah, they wrestled. And then we had the contract signing with Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes. This whole thing was set up that was supposed to be champion versus champion. Logan Paul ripped up that original contract, had a new one made by his lawyer, and then so it's just for Cody's WWE Championship. So it does make the match way more predictable, but sometimes that's okay. But I mean, we all know who's winning that match.
It does change a little bit of some things that I was going to predict on this pay-per-view. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting.
But other than that, that's about all that happened on SmackDown. So,
Any,
uh,
any any rumors or news?
let's see here. I mean, I think Becky Lynch still has not signed a another new contract. So,
Yeah, I think her contract's up after this pay-per-view too.
yeah, so it's interesting.
Think she's just going to take time off?
I think she's just gonna take time off and be back. I don't see her actually leaving.
Uh,
WWE filed for a new trademark called for WWE Vault, for a new show. What do you think that would be?
Probably another A&E show, probably.
I would assume so. It's probably going to be maybe unlocking the vault and showing stuff that's never been seen or stuff that's hasn't been seen in a long time or something like
Yeah.
lost matches or rare matches and stuff like that. I would say. I don't know. Like we said, I don't know if it's going to be a TV show, if it's going to be on Peacock. But yeah. So it could be even on a YouTube show. We don't
Yeah.
know exactly what it could be, but they filed for WWE Vault, so I guess maybe soon we'll hear an announcement on that. Um, other,
So
other than
this WWE Speed thing, uh so they had a tournament to crown the champion.
yeah,
Now they're having another tournament to
yeah,
crown number. Is it just gonna be number is it just gonna be a bunch of tournaments every
yeah,
after
I
every
guess.
title?
Apparently.
I mean, I guess that's one way to get content for a whole year, but
It's just gonna be tournament. And then they eventually said they're gonna add women, so then they'll do a women's tournament.
oh boy.
Yeah, it's just gonna be tournament after tournament after tournament every
Do you think they should bring back mixed match challenge?
it was an interesting concept. I didn't hate it. Being on Facebook only was weird.
Yeah. But
But
that's how this is on Twitter.
yeah, I didn't hate it. I would not be opposed to seeing mixed match challenge come back. I
They
didn't
definitely have plenty of men and women to do it.
I didn't hate it. It was an interesting concept. And then the first season, they got title match out of it. So they had it for something. I,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. It was
What if
funny.
it
Like
led
it was
what if it led to mixed match tag champions?
okay, I don't want that. I don't need any more championships. We have way too many the way it is.
Well, you say that, but if this North American championship for the women goes over, then we got to get an Intercontinental and a US for the women on main roster, right? Because we got 20 chicks on each show.
I know, but man, that's like 6 titles on each show. That's God.
And then
So
and then think about this. You on NXT you have 3 titles for the men to go for because you have that Heritage Cup, right? And it's been going over pretty well.
no, Nathan.
I'm just saying you got a fuckload of guys that don't have anything to go for because and I could totally see them bringing back like a TV title
we
and
don't.
maybe when the Raw goes to Netflix, we'll have a Netflix championship like AEW does with the TNT and TBS championship.
God damn. So we get on to AEW about having all these titles. Now you want WWE to have all these titles.
I didn't say I wanted it. I just see it happening.
Okay, well that's true. No, I don't want any of that to happen.
We got a lot of back too, Ryan. Maybe we'll get a 6-man belt in there too.
Jesus. They have a big roster. They don't have that big of a roster. We don't need 18 championships.
God, could you imagine WrestleMania with all these belts?
Oh, Night of Champions. Every title's on the
At
line.
least they don't have that shit anymore.
Yeah, it'd be like an 8-hour pay-per-view.
Yeah. All right. I think that's gonna do it for this episode of WWE
Went down,
Speak.
went down a weird ending there. But yeah, that's gonna do.
You know.
Uh, we have more content coming later this week, including speaking on AEW, and we got 2 pay-per-views this weekend to talk about and give our predictions about King and Queen of the Ring for WWE and Double or Nothing for AEW. So we'll have all that and a top 10 list later on in the week. So go ahead and take us home, Nathan.
All right. Yeah. If you liked what you heard on this show or saw it, even though there ain't much to see, it's just, whatever Ryan throws up on the screen. You make sure you smash that like and make sure you subscribe and tickle that little notification bell so that way you always get notified whenever we put up a new video every single day.
All right. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.